Coming up on this week's episode, Art and the City, Armory Art Fair, Pulse Contemporary, and Cara Gallery in New York. Modern and contemporary Italian art at its best. A special tour with critic and curator Renato Miracco.
We are at Armory Show, the famous art fair in New York. Today we are looking for some contemporary modern gallery, contemporary modern artists, and will be a really warm, really hot journey. We are here with Montrasio Art Gallery and Kilometro Zero.
Exactly. We have a project that we have shared with the Kilometro Zero, and the two artists that we have present are Salvatore Scarpita and Joseph Beuys, and this is a dialogue, but Gianluca, that is Kilometro Zero, can speak about this project.
The idea is to connect Joseph Beuys and Salvatore Scarpita, because even if they're never met before, never met in their lives, there are many connections with the materials that they used. And there's this strong and deep connection with natural and environment protection and interest. So it seems to us to be having a lot of connections, and they probably could be dialoguing very well if they were alive.
I really love this car. I'm really in love with this car, really the Scarpita one. And tell me about this car a little bit more.
The car is made by Salvatore for the child of Leo Castelli, Jean-Christophe, and he made it in 1976. And it's the first time that the car come back in US.
What brings you here?
Yes, we bring here at the Armory Show the artists that we are used to represent, that are based on the Italian culture of the 60s, so following the lesson of Lucio Fontana, Castellani, Bonalumi, and at the same time we are also focused on what happened in the other European country at that time. So for this reason, together this group that was mainly based in Milano or in Turin, like the Arte Povera, we brought beautiful pieces of the Zero group from Düsseldorf, like Günter Rücker, Heinz Mack, Otto Pine. And this is basically the program of our gallery. So for our first presence here in Armory, we decided to represent exactly what the gallery does.
Which is your favorite pieces? I know which is mine. Are you able to just to confront with yours?
Yeah, I answer with two. For on the Italian side, I like particularly the Michelangelo Pistoletto, that we have this mirror and steel that we have on our back, and on the European side, I like very much the dynamic structure of Heinz Mack. This was exhibited in 1963 in Washington. So this painting is for the first time, maybe for the second time in the US. Yeah.
Anyway, I would just underline the beautiful exhibition about Zero, who the Guggenheim made just 1 year ago.
Yes, I agree. I was really enthusiastic when I visited the exhibition, and I also had a lot of inspiration for my program of my gallery. And in fact, I think here 90% of the artists that you see in this booth have been represented in that exhibition.
Well, we
We always show a selection of Morandi's work because our gallery specialized in this master, but this year we have decided to create a dialogue between Morandi and Spalletti because our gallery loves to see how modern art can influence contemporary art. And in this way, you have a different point of view in order to observe and understand better the masters from the past and contemporary artists too.
Which is another dialogue that you are creating or you are working on?
Well, here in our booth, you will see some modern art and contemporary art together. So, for example, along with Morandi, we have great masters like Kandinsky, Magritte, Max Ernst with a beautiful work from 1927, but also some more contemporary artists like, for example, Robert Indiana with a love sculpture over there and an oil on canvas. Andy Warhol, so a focus on pop art, above all here in the United States. And we are showing also an emerging artist because we also deal with now with more young artists, and you will see one work by Nicola Montesi.
Now we are with Repetto Gallery, and I really would like just to ask you, what brings you here, which is the link between this incredible, beautiful, amazing Italian art?
Because our gallery now is in London. We're from Italy, we are three brothers, and so New York is a very important link between Europe and London.
And which is your goal? What you would like just to reach people? What kind of audience do you have here in the United States?
Our goal is to promote such artists, mainly Melotti, that are not so much well known out of Italy, I mean, and the quality of these extraordinary artists, polyedric, Renaissancemental, because it's so great in sculpture, so great in ceramic, it's a painter and it's a writer. Melotti is a marvelous writer.
Davide Belliano at Armory show with the Luce Gallery.
We did a first solo show with Davide in June last year, and it was immediately a great relationship with Davide. Davide is here, so he lives from 10 years in New York. It's a kind of interesting combination. We are from Torino, so I think making a solo show at Armory with him, which is actually now his city, it could be a great goal.
We saw a beautiful solo show at Armory with your gallery. I'm really proud of you. And which is your goal?
Well, my goal, I think, there is, as every painter, to develop my own language, my own research, and in the last years things are getting better and better. So I'm very happy where we are today, and I hope that everything grows in proportion.
You are taking a new path in your career. What do you think about your career? What step is it this? I saw just something different from your previous work. So I really would like just to be focused on your research right now.
Well, I think that what you saw today is probably what I'm working on in the last 2 years. And more than a different path, I think there is an evolution. I really feel my work as a kind of a constant evolution of my language since many years ago. I don't know precisely what it will bring me, but I'm very happy where is it right now. I think that it started to be something very solid, very autonomous somehow. So I hope that it will grow organically and keep like a recognizable language and a recognizable sensibility.
You were here in Armory since a long time. You are just an historical presence here in Armory in New York. And which is your goal right now? Now you are based in Naples and in Milan.
we brought a selection of works of artists we work with and of projects that we are, supporting and we show in the gallery before coming here. So we have Italian artists like Ettore Spalletti, Ugo Mulas, then we have Vanessa Beecroft and Alfredo Jar, Marina Abramovic, Thomas Roof. It's a kind of, a small possible selection of normally international and Italian, trying to foresee what's, the taste and the expectations and, the collectors. And
how is the attendance of the fair and the audience here in New York?
So it's a very interesting and challenging fair because it's local in a way. It's more for New Yorkers, but it means that you really have to be prepared and to bring the right things and beautiful works.
I really love it. Can I stay here for a long time?
All day you want. You're welcome.
All day, just
Absolutely.
You promise. So we are now here, MC2 Gallery.
Yeah.
From Milan.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. What brings you here? Why? Which is this crazy project?
Yeah.
That I really love anyway.
Pretty crazy. The project is called Back to Black and is a project that involves two Italian artists. Renato D'Agostin, that is the photographer, and Gianluca Quaglia, that is the first time we show in a fair. So I always choose artists that makes me feel a good feeling and give me passion or something in their work. So that's why we wanted to, in this case, push the Italian side. So here we are perfectly with you. And it was a chance to push artists that are not so well around the world, because Italian artists, it's a little bit. It was a perfect chance because we are in the section called Conversations. So it means two artists that talk together, and the black is the line that is connected, exactly, both. And it's very interesting how they start from very different points using the black or other materials, but here they talk perfectly and they fit together, almost creating in some points like a unique installation that could be of the same artist.
Tell me, please, about your last project.
My last project is called 7439, and I went up to the Niagara Falls and then down south up to New Orleans, and then from there I shot west towards San Francisco. So I did all the part of all the national parks, the desert, everything that everybody can see doing a cross-country trip like that. So I did that because American landscape is a tradition of American photography. So I wanted to challenge that and see me as an Italian living in New York with my view, with my vision on photography and what stays around me, what I could do in such an environment. So I stayed for 2 months on the road trip, and it was just an incredible adventure. So part of these photographs are here on this wall today and throughout the art fair, and it's a selection that could merge well with Gianluca, who's showing here as well, and everything goes back to black. So it could make sense, all the putting together these two elements of black and white and simple symbols of photography like I do. I shot a lot. I shot 140 rolls more or less, and I processed everything while traveling in motel bathrooms, hotel, whatever, wherever I could find some water and chemicals I would develop. And then the hard part was the editing. So I came back with these 140 rolls, and I took it down to 70 photographs that will be in the book, that will be printed in Italy in a couple of weeks.
I know very well about your book. I know very well about your music. This book can I have just in music too, or?
Yeah. Yeah, that will be actually a cool part this time, especially because for every book of this series, as you correctly said, there is a vinyl disc with music included, and this time it will be Lorenzo Mazzon from Venice, who works with electronic music but with an analogic system, meaning that it will start from Born to Be Wild and will remaster it in a completely crazy way that you will only hear little nuances and pieces of that song, very iconic for American road trip. And it will be completely reorganized into a new song. So that will accompany the book, and there will be also a journal with my writing from the trip, with my experience, and a diary basically, yeah.
What kind of artists do you have here?
Mostly I have American-based artists. They can be from other parts of the world, but they are mainly American-based because I found this group of artists with this special expression that I really go for. So by coincidence, it ended up working out of the platform of New York, and now it's became like my kind of signature that I have these American-based artists. But sometimes we let Europeans in the group if they are based, if they're good, and if the zip code is the US, then it's okay. So that's necessary. It is.
And now we pass the floor to Nicola. What is your project? And these beautiful paintings belongs to something.
Yes.
I really would like just you to describe your idea.
Yeah, this painting, of course, a part of a certain kind of iconography that is the one of the Western, but is also combined with the iconography of Catholicism, of Saint Sebastian. It's a sort of twist of the story of Saint Sebastian into the Americana Western iconography. So the idea is that there's a clash of cultures, the Puritan Americans coming here, monotheistic, iconoclastic, and conquering the whole thing and exterminating the Native Americans. In this painting, the oppressor is becoming the victim because the Native Americans are having a revenge on him, So it's all a play about and twisting about narratives and iconographies that we all know very well, and combining them together, I hope it's creating a certain kind of suspension, emotional suspension.
What does it mean for you, mythology?
For me, mythology is extremely important because as a painter, I need narrations. I need narrations that are known by everybody, are already sedimented in our brains. So when you are in front of my painting, you are not thinking, what is this about? You already know what it's about. But then I can play with what is in your mind, and I can play about things that are part of a collective understanding of things. So in sort of way, I want to put my work not really on top, but in a certain point of the process of mythological creation, and I think the painting can add something to this process if it's in dialogue with other media.
What is the project behind the gallery in London, please?
The Gallery in London is an international contemporary art gallery that represents artists, both emerging artists and mid-career and established artists from all over the world.
Tell me, what do you love about ruins? What do you discover behind ruins?
Well, I can say it's. I grew up in Rome, so it's the city of ruins. And but that was like a fascination, that I had 8-9 years ago, something like that. So it's a long-term project of photography, and I just started taking pictures of a mental asylum in Italy, and after that I just fell in love with this particular kind of architecture. And after that I started to travel also in Europe, in the eastern part of Europe, and then a lot also in the United States, taking pictures of these modern ruins. I think the most important part of my work it's just transfer the beauty of these places. So I'm interested in a very deep reading of this really beautiful architecture.
And they allowed you to get in and to take picture of this one?
90% of the time there is a gate open, a door, a window, so I just go in, but just taking pictures and then come back. And also it's a really important part of the work. I don't like graffiti in these places, I don't like trash, I don't like to transfer like a sad view of these places, but just the beauty.
Come scegli i tuoi artisti? Ecco, e che cosa hai qui?
Allora, scelgo in funzione di quello che amo, che mi piace, della cultura visiva che ho elaborato iniziando a collezionare fin quando avevo 20 anni, arte italiana degli anni 30, quindi la scuola romana minore, passando dai grandissimi tipo Ziveri fino ai più piccoli tipo di Cocco. Quindi sono arrivato a conoscere artisti che nascono dall'illustrazione, dal fumetto, dal rock e su questo confine hanno espresso la loro poetica.
Quale visione c'è in un artista, in Fred, e quale visione c'è nell'altro che tu hai scelto oggi? E perché tu hai deciso di metterli insieme?
Fred Stonehouse, che è quello dei circo viaggianti, dei freak show, del camionista con il tatuaggio. Sono personaggi, sono dei topos legati al cinema americano, legati alla letteratura on the road. Alcune sue opere, alcune sue figure sembrano proprio dei retablos spagnoli, dove si inserisce anche un mistero pop, un mistero gotico, elementi che nascono dal fumetto, per cui il diavoletto, la figura allegorica che c'era nei quadri del Rinascimento è riproposta in termini quasi di comics.
Non hai trovato artisti italiani che esprimessero la stessa cosa?
Ci sono alcuni giovani artisti che io frequento, italiani, fra i quali c'è Giuliano Sale, che è sardo, ha 39 anni, è iniziato con una figurazione ambigua di mondi campestri sardi, di disagi delle campagne sarde, per arrivare a una trasformazione moderna, contemporanea, che è un bacon più campagnolo in qualche modo, più pop.
I was resting a little bit after hours and hours and hours here in Pulse. It's really amazing to be in art fair. You know, you can have so many point of view, and we discover Italian art, and who was hosted by an Italian gallery. But in meantime, Italian artists all over the world, hosted by a European gallery, London, Copenhagen, and so on. It's really, really, really amazing. This is a little journey, and I will do so many art fair in New York in this day, and the vibrant, the terrific atmosphere that you can find here is something really unforgettable. So next year, come here and be one of the people who can go around and see art. after a few days at Armory, all around in New York, with so many art fair, so excited, so involving, so moving, so interesting, so creative, we decided just to stop in a new gallery, the Cara Gallery in Chelsea, 24th and 10, because they have just a beautiful Agostino Rivabene solo show. Agostino Rivabene, primo grande show a New York, Galleria Cara, un grande gradino della tua carriera. Cosa dici?
Molto contento, anche perché c'è stato un grande lavoro che mi ha permesso di raccogliere nell'arco poco meno di 3 mesi un percorso di lavoro che ha occupato quasi un'intera produzione, forse di un anno, eppure molto concentrato nella sua esecuzione, oltre ad aver avvicinato anche in questa mostra alcuni pezzi di alcuni anni passati, appunto per farli dialogare con alcuni lavori recenti, perché volevo creare un dialogo più complesso e più adeguato al mistero dell'alchimia e di questo percorso ierogamico in cui la coppia oppure l'unione tra lo sponso e la sponsa, cioè il maschile e il femminile, si uniscono in questa unione tellurica per creare l'androgeno alchemico. È un dipinto che è stato realizzato nel novembre del 2015 attraverso un vissuto decisamente drammatico, ma che mi ha permesso anche di trovare delle soluzioni anche tecniche, espressive, che mi porteranno anche dei codici futuri interessanti per il mio lavoro, anche perché ho utilizzato come media in questo caso anche la combustione per fare delle abrasioni sulla pittura e quindi creare delle manipolazioni di distruzione.